j'apprécie les voix beaucoup, ça amène toute une autre dimension, donc c'est pour ça que j'invite Mike, qui est un artiste que je respecte et que j'ai découvert il n'y a pas si longtemps en fait. Bon, on a eu une grosse tournée de 15 concerts et en fait, la majorité des dates étaient avec Mike Ladd, mais lui il connaît des gens dans toutes sortes, enfin dans quasiment toutes les villes où on est allé jouer, donc il invitait à chaque fois sur scène des amis.
Donc c'est sympa ce soir? Ça va? On ne monte pas un match de foot, rien comme ça? Peut-être c'est pas la même salle. Quelquefois tu jouais, t'es obligé à regarder les télés. Merci à tous. C'est très sympa. C'est chaud ici. You and me, stuck in these monopolies. See we mean? You ain't gonna see. That's all of us, you and me, stuck in these monopolies. And the elections are infectious in the twilight. Megalopolis, the populace is getting off in this chaos as it is perceived. 15 million suckers crawl on their hands and knees to worship and believe in ATMs and psychic friends, networks, work nets around us as we do. Babylon by bus, straight to Rikers. Run by guns with Nazi bikers that used to be cops and all these writers typing up eulogies for freedom fighters gone Republican who was rubbing them brain cells with psychedelic seashells and acid sandpaper. It was George in the 70s saying, CRB, Blade Runner Steve. That's all of us, you and me, stuck in these monopolies. CRB, Blade Runner Steve. That's you and me, stuck in these monopolies. Hello, multinational pound cake. Pounding on my cranium, engraving in my soul. Submit, submit, I bite the bit and go buck wild. Sleeping dogs don't lie or smile, nor are we sleeping. We be necks and sixes, sipping a throw down truth, so hold down crews and pistol hicks can't get with this reality. That's why they retaliatory, that peon. Let me tell you about my mother.
Mike, I'm a lyrical repairman and installer. I install some lyrics in your work for minimal price of $500, anywhere up to $2,000. I usually have a van. Sometimes I rock in a bike. I usually have a jacket that, has my company on the back. I come from Boston. Cambridge, okay. Massachusetts mostly.
How meeting with Leo? Comment ça s'est
Selena
passé?
Glenn hooked me up with Leo.
Okay.
I was in New York for, I forget what, I think I was doing a show in New York. I was there for like 2 days. I was already living here. I'd lived in New York for about 16 years, but I was living here. And Leo had a session, so I came in, did the session, freestyled the track, and the track made it on the record. And so I became the lyrical repairman in Europe.
Okay.
So because it's a cheaper ticket than flying Selena out all the time.
The last slowdown might come. And there'll be no time for knee quaking. And even in the Marais, but when it snows, there's a little bit of gold on every little leaf. And the icicles don't linger long in Paris. It's kind of like LA, but all gray, reverse-wise. And there's been a tradition of these expatriates.
Langston Hughes' poem. I went down to the river. Since the life is fine, Langston Hughes' poem. Went down to the river, sat down on the bank. I tried to think but couldn't, so I jumped in and sank. I came up once and hollered, came up twice and cried. If it hadn't been so cold in that water, I would have sunk and died. But it was cold in that water. It was cold. I went up in the elevator 16 stories above the ground. I thought about my baby and I thought I would jump down. I looked down once and hollered. I looked down twice and cried. If it hadn't been so high up there, I would have jumped and died. But it was high up there. It was high. So since I'm still here living, I guess I will live on. I could have died for love, but for living I was born. You may hear me holler, and you may see me cry. But all be dog sweet, baby. You ever gonna see me die. Life is fine, fine as wine. Life is fine. Hey, that's nice to hear.
We be live on the street. That's you and me. See we be live on the street. That's you and me. Monopolies. See we be much too free. Stuck in these monopolies. See we be live and see. Open and free, 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 open and free.
Comment on la définit? Comment les...
Live, c'est une musique live avant tout. Il faut qu'on sente l'énergie, c'est pour ça qu'on a des instruments et qu'on ne joue pas tellement avec des ordinateurs ou des programmes. C'est vraiment une musique qui est basée sur l'énergie, l'interaction. On utilise des vieux claviers analogues pour avoir vraiment la chaleur et l'aspect où on peut vraiment travailler le son en live, en direct, manipuler le son en live, rien n'est vraiment programmé à l'avance. C'est très bien. Après, il faut s'adapter. On a joué avec Anthony Joseph jeudi soir, on a découvert sur scène quasiment le soir du concert. Et lui, alors, il travaille très très différemment. Donc, après, nous, on est assez flexible, comme c'est que des instruments live, donc on s'adapte à ce qu'il peut faire de mieux, aux forces qu'il a. Et puis, Selena, elle a d'autres atouts, Mike a d'autres atouts, donc on essaie après de s'adapter en fonction des invités.
Tonight is no time for no trickery, baby. Tonight is on that Dexter Coleman, Duke Ellington. No blues, no blues, no blues, no blues. Just jazz, sweet jazz, slick jazz, sparkling jazz, nigga skin rippling 52nd Street jazz. No blues, no blues, no more blues. Jazz is the scope of feeling, like a rush in the air. Air sound grooves and expands and vibrates through chromosomes of bliss, atonal, tonic, and flatted fifths. A ream of horns, alpha is omega to Coltrane stomp. Heavy with the gun of breath, shooting sparks of fury, fire in the throat. Spit and shine blues, no blues, no blues, babe. And just then subjective time shifted and beads of pure sound were flung past my pent-up breast. Ooh, 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 oozing blues from the tenor lip.
I think considering that I hadn't heard their music before Leo got in touch with me, and considering that I came today and we did like an hour rehearsal / sound check, I think it turned out really well. I would have liked to get it even better. I would have liked to spend a couple of days here with them, get to know them, work with them a little bit more. Because it's one thing to know the words and to, I could read the words and I could do it. But I would have liked to have a stage where I didn't need the words, where I knew exactly what I was going to do. And you can't do that with new musicians that you haven't worked with before. So that's the only thing. I wish we'd had more time. But considering the time we had, it turned out really well, I think.
Rotation of mind. Rotation of subjective space-time. Rotation of oceans, rotation of sound, rotation of mind, rotation of mind, rotation of sound. The seed, the tree, the center, the spire, the time, the absence. Rhythm is in the space between beats. Rhythm is in the space between beats. Rhythm is in the space between beats. Rhythm is the space between the beats.